pass. He like recites the dates and everything. It's like between 2014 and 2017. ESPN. And said, R.I.P. Also you. Yeah. You're absolutely right. You know, it was pretty good. The second half. That's too good. Comfort. Black on black. Oh, yeah. I got you. That's a comfort. It's only $25. Cashed in all. Cold cash is higher, man. You gotta do Oh, that's good. That's bad.
Man of the hour.
One last. You want me here?
No, I want you up here. This is his spot right here, Ross. Okay, so last week we honored a Jerry, right? Jerry Lucas. And Jerry's a legend among legends. And today we get to honor another legend in Ohio State athletics, Jerry Emig. Dedicated career, a true professional in so many ways. Just does a great job of covering the local media, the national media, has relationships throughout. It's been a blessing for me to work with Jerry over the last year and a half. So on behalf of the entire athletic department, Jerry Emig, forever a Buckeye, thank you for your 23 years of dedicated service. That's a good SID day. That was his quote. So what you have to do, though, is you got to fill this up with all your Buckeyes from your Buckeye tree, because this is what this is made for. So, Jerry, thank you on behalf of Ohio State Athletics and the university for all the years of dedication.
I'll just, I've already had my little chat with you guys, but I just want to say I feel like the most fortunate person in the world. I've got family, I've got faith, I've got friends, and I've got the most badass football program in the country that I've been able to support for 23 years, and I love them. And I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Let's go 6 more games for Jerry. 6 more games. Oh yeah. By the way, Jerry's family's here too, over here to the side. So okay. They caught everything.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if I'm running this press conference or Mike is or what? Well, all right. I love it because you know what? It's going to be short. Yeah, yeah.
He's questionable. He's working hard to get back.
Thank you, Marcus.
Yeah, he's good for it. Or will be staring. Most post.
23 here. Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame is at 14-0. What? They have a pick six on the third play of the game and a block punt that went 7 yards picked up with the jersey.
Wow.
CJ Carter would take off his back. He's just like, he doesn't even need that. It's time. It's that time. And I was like,
Oh, okay. We're okay. Okay. Start right there. Yeah.
yes, we'll get his stats too, real quick.
Do you need one?
No, I think that's what he usually stops there. Listen to stats from us, so he doesn't have his.
All right. Coach.
Before we get going, Jerry, just want to thank you for everything you've done, not only for Ohio State, but, for me and my family. I think about when we made the transition from being an assistant to the head coach and all the different things that, we've had to navigate along the way, and you've always been steady and fair. And you have the respect of certainly everybody you work with, but I know everybody out here as well. So I just want to make sure, publicly I thanked you for everything you've done. So thanks, Jerry. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Move over here to the right, Austin Ward.
I don't imagine you will update much on the status of Jeremiah and Carnell, but just playing without them, what did that do for your offense, and how difficult did that make the week of preparation to try and put together a plan without them?
The only thing I'll say really is that, they are day to day, and, the staff and those guys are working really hard, to get ready to play next week.
Over here to the left, Joey.
No, but sorry, but I'm just, just talk about the week and everything. I felt like, the guys had a really good week of work in terms of focus, and it was an opportunity for guys to step up in different ways. And so, whether it was defense, special teams, or on offense, nobody really flinched. Everyone's like, come on, let's go play. And I think that's been sort of the approach of this team and this coaching staff. So, it'll be the same way this week, and those guys are going to fight like heck to get back on the field. But no, I thought the guys played hard today. I thought, I think the running game averaged just under 7 yards a carry. And then I think on 35 rushing attempts, we held them to 66 yards. So, that was really well done. And, they came out, fresh, and they had a couple of things for us that were a little bit different, coming off of the bye week. But I thought our guys handled it, again, sort of businesslike. So overall, that was well done. There's obviously things that, if we think we're going to get away with fumbling the ball on the 1 yard line or putting the ball on the turf, that's going to cost us a game. We know that can happen. But overall, there was a physicality in the game that I thought, was set from the jump. And again, for the seniors, can't thank them enough publicly. I've done it before, but I want to do it again. The true warriors on the field and everything they've done, because, they put it on the field. They're the ones. And so on behalf of everybody at Ohio State, these seniors deserve to be thanked for what they've done. Certainly what they've done for me and my family and all the coaches and for the brothers. And that's why, it was our obligation to make sure we did our best for them to make sure that their last game on the field was special. And I think they had a great game and they played hard. And guys like Caden Curry, what a great play he had. And so great to see them, finish out, senior day with a win like this.
I'm going to go ahead and send Kenyatta Jackson to the very back for a few minutes worth of interviews. Then we'll move over here to the left. Joey Kaufman.
Ryan, what's your overall feeling of comfort with the depth at wide receiver if you're not going to have Jeremiah or Carnell, and just how those guys did today?
Yeah, I thought overall there was some good things there. I thought David had a really big third down catch. Brandon had a really big week last week. And I thought Max, stepped up in a big way. So it's a great opportunity for those guys. Brandon Ennis is a leader. He's a captain of our team. And, Bryson Rogers, Mylan, David, they've, really had an opportunity here to step up. I think there's some good things that they did. There's some things they'll get on film and get better. But, we need to play depth. Everyone knows that. And this is their opportunity.
Over here to the right, Spencer Holbrook.
Yeah, Ryan, it didn't look like Mylan played at all in the first half. Bryson a little bit as well. Were they held out for any reason, or what was behind that? Because
he played a little bit, and when he gets in there, obviously we want him to be consistent and do his job, and so we're challenging him to do that and step up in a big way, and the more he does that, the more he builds trust, the more opportunity he'll get.
Rob Aller.
Yeah, we saw Brandon grab his shoulders. An update on him. Is he okay?
Yep, he's okay.
And is the running game where you want it to be going into next week?
Well, we always want it to be better, but again, when you rush the ball 38 times for 254, I mean that's good coming out. We'll get on the film and figure out what's what. It's you got to sort through everything and figure out what the efficiency of each run was, because that's a part of it too. You can hit some big runs and maybe get fooled. I don't know exactly what our efficiency was and what went well and what didn't, but I thought guys ran hard. I thought there was some good things. That there's certainly nothing's perfect, but that's what we're striving for.
A little more just with the wide receiver injury situation, or not?
Well, we'll have to see. Yeah, I mean, each week is different, in terms of our approach and what we need to do. But that's why we have to have balance, and we've said that all along. And so here we are in November, and we'll do whatever we can to put our game plan together to put our guys in a situation to win the game.
I'm going to send Caden Curry back to the back left table for a few minutes worth of interviews. Then we'll go over here to the right, Dylan Davis, Delaware Gazette.
Ryan, you talk so much about mastering the process, given all the distractions that next week could have been for your team. How pleased were you with how prepared they were this week? And certainly now that game is over, turning the page, preview what's going to come next week.
Yeah, I do. I give the guys a lot of credit for focusing. And I think, not having both Carnell and Jeremiah allowed us to focus even a little bit more on the job at hand. Whether that really played into it or not, I don't know. But our guys have been pretty consistent that way. So now, this week has got to be the best. We've been working towards this all year. And we want it. We know that the opponent is different. We know what's at stake. We know we're playing for hardware now. But at the end of the day, it's still about us. We can't all of a sudden change things. And so we want to keep it as routine as we can, knowing that, again, now we're playing for hardware and not only gold pants, but also an opportunity to get to Indy.
Over to the left, Bill Rabinowitz.
Yeah, that was kind of my question. How quickly after this game, or maybe even before the final, went to 0-0, were you thinking about next week in Ann Arbor? And the fact that you're not changing the schedule usually is everything's on Monday. Now
right.
Is that just part of keeping the routine the same?
That's it. Because as we know, everything that comes with this game, we want to keep it as routine as we can and keep the guys focused on what we've worked on all year. And the number one goal is to grade out a champion. So we'll come back in tomorrow. We'll grade this film, figure out who's a champion in this one, and quickly move on to the Wolverines.
Were thoughts already started creeping in your head before the game?
Yeah, they're always, in the back of our mind in terms of what we're working towards. We know this is the last game of the year and what it means to everybody here. So, it doesn't take long in the fourth quarter once the game was in hand to, everybody start figuring out, this thing's coming fast. And it was just a good look in everybody's eye in the locker room, man. We're excited about this one and just need to focus on, what really matters. And that's everybody just doing their job and going on the road and what's going to be a great environment and going to get it done. So that'll be the focus and we'll continue to do what we've done all year. That's it. And have a great week and focus on that day. And the coach's job, is to give them a great plan. And we got to be at our best. Everybody has to be at their best and play really, really hard.
Over here to the right, Stefan Kreisnik.
I guess, Ryan, to build off of that, you talk about it being in the back of your mind. This is a senior class that hasn't gotten gold pants, hasn't won in Indianapolis yet, and they've talked about that being a goal for them. What have you thought of the way they've kind of compartmentalized that, throughout these weeks to get to this point and understanding what they had to take care of in order to get gold pants, get to Indy, and all the rest down the road?
Well, yeah, you've heard us talk about this, really focusing on the process because it's easy to just say, I want to get to the last game of the year. But if that happens and you get distracted, you can get upset. And then all of a sudden your season could take a turn bad. I feel like we've focused on us. I felt like, we've been consistent in our approach. And so now but that's all, in preparation for this week. And so we have to continue to do that very thing. And that's what it's going to be. But to your point, I think when we talked about, chopping wood and carrying water from the jump, like that's what this was about, was to making sure that we weren't just saying, hey, let's just get to the end of the year and everything that comes with it. And so now we go. But along the way, when you think about how fast the season's gone, it seems like it's gone really, really fast. But then again, you think about that first game against Texas, and that seems like a year ago, just how different this team is now from when it first started. And so, all the work that we've put in is now, got to show for us. And that'll be the focus this week.
Bill Landis over to the left.
Ryan, the last time we saw the offense with Carnell and Jeremiah was a Penn State game. You guys were explosive, surgical, just sort of what you are when you're at your best offensively. What is your confidence level that you can get back to that with those guys being sidelined the last couple of weeks and not having just the momentum going into this game next week?
Well, we'll figure that out once we know what the status is. But the ultimate goal is to win the game, and that's it. And we're going to do everything we can to win the game based on what we have, and we'll just go from there.
Over here to the red, just got time for a couple more. Tim May.
Yeah, first I'd like to salute Jerry Emig on both tours of duty with the Ohio State football team. Well done, Jerry.
Thank you.
I don't know if I get that chance later. Ryan, does a 49-yard run count as a home run by James Peoples? You understand what I'm saying? I've been asking about getting that home run. But then number two, what is your confidence in this run game? Because like we talked about earlier in the week, you're going to face better defenses, but do you feel like it's on track now to go to the big house?
Well, I think you've seen a lot of progress throughout the year. I think you've seen guys get better, and I think every time these running backs touch the ball, they're getting better. So we've been working at it, and you're seeing a lot of progress being made. And again, now we got to be at our best. Yeah. I mean, a 50-yard run for a touchdown is a big hit, and when you get explosive runs like that, but it takes execution. I thought on that play, our right tackle Justin Terry and Jelani Thurman did an excellent job coming off for the second level, and then Nate Roberts did a really good job on the secondary guy, and then we made a guy miss in a hole, and that's how it works. You need great execution, but you got to make a guy miss. So I thought our O-line did a decent job at, for the most part, of getting guys to the second level. There was some things that we got to, hit cleaner, but that's part of the run game as well. And when we get, positive plays in a run game and we stay on schedule, then, that's when we're at our best.
This will be the last question for Coach Day. Two more questions for Caden Curry back there. Patrick Murphy.
Ryan, you guys obviously have been dominant defensively all season, but when you have these injuries on offense and are working with some things, how comforting is it to know you can rely on the defense, especially early there after the fumble, to get the ball back and kind of get you guys going?
Yeah, well, it's a team effort, and when you see us executing special teams the way we've done the last couple of weeks, we pin the ball on the 1 yard line on the pooch. That all matters. And when you're playing team ball like that, they work off of each other. And yeah, certainly, as you know, when you get turnovers like that and the ball's on a 1 yard line, and even though we made that an adventure, that's team football, and it's offense's first job to take care of it, and then run the ball and then become explosive and then score touchdowns in a red zone, and when your defense is playing well, it certainly helps, but each game is its own story, and we need to be at our best in all three phases and get a team win.
Coach, thank you very much. All right, folks, we're going to bring Max Klare up here to the main podium now for a few minutes. Caleb, right to Brianna. We'll open up here to the left, Max, Brianna McKay.
Hi, Max. You're obviously in the receiving game without Carnell and Jeremiah. How does that kind of just change your role and open up your receiving game, especially today?
Right. Yeah, I think it's just more opportunities. I mean, obviously, not having those guys out there hurts. We always want those guys out there just because they're so special. But when your number's called, you got to make a play, and it's kind of what happened today.
Over here to the right, Spencer Holbrook.
Yeah, Max. What was going through your head on the hurdle?
Yeah. I'm not really too sure if there's much going through my head on that. I just decided to jump. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll do that again.
And then getting in the open field, things like that, you seem to be able to do a lot of that last year. With the way that your role has changed, how good did it feel today to be able to kind of see yourself in open space a little bit more and get a few yards after catch?
Right. Yeah. No, it felt really good. That first one, I was out there in the middle of the field, and I don't know, it felt kind of awkward. I haven't been out there like that. Kind of blew a tire on that one. That's what it felt like. At least I don't know if it looked like that, but it felt really good though.
Over to the left, Bill Rabinowitz.
This will be your first Michigan game. What's your level of anticipation? What's your sense? You haven't been here for the last 4 years, obviously. What's your sense of the motive or the determination to end that streak?
Yeah, no, I'm super excited to be a part of it. It's obviously a game that's why you come here playing games like that. And just like every other week, we got to attack it, attack the game plan, attack the preparation, and go out there and execute at a high level.
Okay, folks, I'm going to send Carson Hinsman all the way to the back table for a few minutes, and then we'll continue on with Max over here to the right, Tim May.
Max, did you feel some kind of, I don't know, feeling of responsibility today to step up even more, with Carnell and Jeremiah sidelined? I mean, you talked about that a little bit, but getting the ball that many times, do you feel like you came through also in that regard?
Yeah, I think I came through for the most part. There's obviously a couple that I went back. And there's still a lot of room for improvement for me. So just got to keep building on that and keep growing each week.
A lot of people think y'all haven't faced enough adversity to call yourself, ready for a big game, et cetera. What is your take on that? The idea that y'all haven't faced enough adversity offensively, even though you're playing it up with two of the best receivers in the country, for example, today.
Yeah, I think, just what Coach Emig puts us through in the offseason, preseason camp and stuff like that. I
don't think he's coming.
Builds that callus that we need for runs that we're about to go on. So definitely.
Back left, Dan Hope.
Max, it seems like you're just getting more and more comfortable in the offense every week. Like, how different do you feel right now than you did maybe week 1, week 2?
Yeah, I think I feel a lot more comfortable. Just more comfortable with my role and what I'm doing and what I'm asked to do, and just got to keep growing on it. So.
And over here to the left, Doug Lesmerises.
Max, we know that you guys got to play with whoever's out there, but how do things change with the defense when Jeremiah and Carnell are not on the field? Can you tell anything differently about how they play you guys?
Obviously, a huge emphasis on the defense when they're out there is them. But I think it's still pretty similar from my point of view. So I haven't really noticed too much difference from my perspective.
All right. One last. Jeff, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Having a defense at your back like you guys have this year. I mean, this is probably as good a defense as you've ever been your back. What's that been like for this offense? I mean, I know you don't take it for granted, but how has that helped you guys as an offense?
No, yeah, it's definitely special to have a defense like that. And it only helps us. I mean, we have so much confidence in them and, what they're able to do on a week-to-week basis. And, that gives us confidence to go out there and just let it loose.
Great. Max, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
That's it. Yep. And that's going to be it, folks.